Welcome to a 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. This is going to be my first one in the new replay UI with the big observer mode patch and everything, so that should be exciting. And the game is going to be Vipuks versus Jesulin. And I'm sure you're probably all pretty familiar with this UI by now, so I'm not going to gush over it too much, but
We got a rifle squad waiting for orders.
it's pretty slick. Definitely like what I see so far, the only thing being that the mini-map really now is extremely mini. Pretty hard to see, so maybe I'll be throwing up the tactical map every now and then. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, here we go. Vipuks versus Jesulin. Vipuks playing US forces in the left side, Jesulin playing as Ostherr in the south. Jesulin going with Grenadiers here, pulling them towards the center and sending his pioneers straight up here towards the fuel. Meanwhile, Vipuks grabbing 2 squads of riflemen. Isn't this crazy how you can just see everything that everyone's purchased? I don't have to like flip between teams and stuff. This is so like easy. Anyway, 2 squads of riflemen coming out here, heading down towards the strategic point. Pioneers grabbing the victory point up here. More grenadiers coming out of the base, doing some backcapping. So pretty conservative start from Jesulin, and a pretty equally conservative start from Vipuks here, grabbing these points pretty close to his base. Not going to be a whole lot of engagements here. Vipuks going straight with 3 riflemen, not going to fill out his build with any extra rear echelons, it doesn't look like, which is something I like to do on this map because it allows me to grab the flank strategic points a little quicker, but I guess Vipuks would prefers to just go for the maximum rifleman firepower. 3 grenadiers and 3 riflemen on the field. These rear echelon troops are going to encounter these grenadiers here, taking up a position behind this green wall. Riflemen are going to move up to support, and there's not really anything nearby from Jesulin to assist in this engagement. Riflemen grabbing this point while capping. These riflemen should win this engagement. These sandbags are much stronger than they were prior to the patch, but unfortunately it's not enough to win this 2v1 engagement. The way green cover works, some green cover wasn't that effective pre-patch, and now all green cover is pretty much the same effectiveness, so it's a great change actually.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
It's no longer like weird behavior of certain cover objects, and I think supposedly it had to do with like the height of the actual cover object, and the way the bullet's path was analyzed was like in 3 dimensions or something, so certain cover objects just like basically didn't work. Not to mention the better squad behavior means that squads will actually stand with all 5 or 6 or 4 or whatever squad members will actually be able to all take advantage of the cover, even if it's a very small cover object, so that's also pretty fun and exciting. Jesulin moving his infantry up here, grabbing the victory point, also has a squad grabbing this strategic point, but Vipuks riflemen are moving up to counter. We also have some harassment happening down here, but they're pretty much immediately going to get pushed away. Vipuks also choosing airborne. Jesulin has access to awestruck assault support and mobile defense. Jesulin also has a mortar firing. Doesn't get any good shots off though. It has no veterancy, so here's the veterancy over here. Kind of small. Kind of a small. I guess you can see it just fine. It's just smaller than what I'm used to, I guess.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
A lot of useful information being crammed onto the screen. Vipuks continues. Can't make up his mind on whether he wants to stay in that house or not. And he's brought in Pathfinders. Interesting. See if he can make good use of that unit. He's charging straight towards the mortar, but the supporting grenadiers move up. Decides to pull back a little bit. Meanwhile, he's been doing some nice harassment of the north with this squad of riflemen. We also have grenadiers harassing the fuel down here, but he's actually not quite inside the circle.
construction upgrade accomplished.
Pathfinder's firing. They actually get a sniper crit on one of the mortar squad members. And he's actually going with 2 squads of Pathfinders. Okay, interesting. So 3 riflemen, 2 Pathfinders. I am intrigued.
We're taking fire! Our position is under attack!
Jesulin grabbing tier 2. Pathfinders moving up to fire on those grenadiers.
Experience is the best teacher! He died for the fatherland!
One goes down.
The fatherland has given us new weapons.
Oh jeez. Nice grenade dodge. Rifle grenades are actually quite deadly now. I mean, they were always pretty good, but since you can bunch up a little tighter in yellow cover, it's quite possible to lose an entire squad from full health to a rifle grenade. It's very important to be quick about dodging those. Pathfinder's doing what they can against those pioneers, working them down pretty quick. But there is a 2-2-1 on the field. Let me try this cinematic mode. Wow, look at that. Look at that. The UI is like completely hidden, although that building's like a weird color, but man, that is slick. Cinematic mode. It's like I'm watching a World War II movie or something. So cool. Okay, enough of that. Anyway, 2-2-1 continuing to scout around the south. Mortar setting up in green cover here. Pathfinder's taking a little damage, but no model losses on them yet, so he's actually inflicted quite a bit of bleed with those. 3 kills on one, no kills, just damage on the other, but I guess not that much bleed, but 3 model losses inflicted, none sustained, so they're doing okay so far. It's actually very few kills on either side of things. Take a look. We actually have like graphs and stuff now. But we have 14 kills by Vipuks and 12 by Jesulin, so things are pretty not like that many kills yet. And not that much damage dealt either, although it's going to probably come down to what this 2-2-1 can inflict. I wouldn't be surprised to see it get quite a few kills on these Pathfinders. They're wounded. Oh, but there's a Steward on the field already. Look at that. Oh, it activates Shell Shock and connects. Oh, no. Oh, no. I didn't even realize that Vipuks had made a captain. I think he made the captain and then supervised the construction of that Steward so that it would hit the field really quick. 8-minute Steward. That 2-2-1 was nowhere near ready for that. Vipuks loves the Steward. He's like probably one of the only players I've ever seen like purchase it consistently and do well with it. He's already doing quite well with it this game. Hopefully he'll be able to continue to do well with it. The Pack 43, or the Pack 40, excuse me, was adjusted in the most recent balance patch. It has a longer reload time now, so it can still kill the Steward in 2 shots, but it'll be a lot oh, that rifle grenade was nasty. Yeah, it'll be much longer before the second shot fires, making the Steward sort of indirectly a little bit more powerful in this matchup.
Germany now holds the victory point. Taking casualties. Our squad has been honored by bravery. Pioneer squad suffering losses. Grenadier squad is taking fire.
Captain has to pull back. Looks like he actually got a bazooka snipe right there.
Our opponents are seizing a sector. You guys, listen to me if you want to live.
Rear echelon troops grabbing the munitions down here. Riflemen grabbing the victory point. Grenadiers taking the cutoff once again. Jesulin kind of struggling for territory here. He's lost all 3 victory points now, holding on to only this fuel point, no munitions. Speaking of munitions, Vipuks has 370. I'm surprised he hasn't purchased any bars or bazookas or anything. He has 0 of his base upgrades. He has gone airborne, and he's got 4 command points. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped some paratroopers and gotten some upgrades on them or something.
The enemy has broken our supply lines. The enemy is gaining a foothold. We are down to 300 points.
Wow, those Pathfinders actually just focused that mortar down, and I had to retreat. Nice. Yeah, they're quite good at range. Definitely quite, like, not bad at range at all. And he's got double vent on both of those, which I think gives him the sight range boost. Yeah, I'm really surprised that he hasn't researched bars or bazookas, considering he has 420 munitions in the bank and he's not utilizing paratroopers. Maybe he's just gonna save up for like spamming P-47s? I guess. This building the captain is holed up in is taking quite a beating. The BAR also got improved a lot in this patch. It is much better than it used to be. It's quite a viable upgrade. I would certainly encourage US players to give it a shot. Rifleman being forced back in the north. Stewart charging. The pack is pulled all the way back into the base. The Faust. He does not Faust. And the Stewart has actually still only got 1 kill. Just the scout car. It hasn't really done anything since killing that scout car, and we now have a Puma on the field, so Jesulin has chosen mobile defense doctrine.
We are losing a sector.
And he's circling around up here in the north. Oh, gets a long-range shot off on the Stewart there. Wow, this even takes the player colors off of the. It even takes the player colors off the vehicles, so it just looks like a normal Puma. It still has like white paint on it though. This is so cool. So mobile defense doctrine has been chosen by Jesulin, and I guess he wants to be able to hunt down the Stewart. I'm honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't understand why he hasn't gone in on that Stewart hard. He knows that his opponent doesn't have mines. He's airborne, so he has no light anti-tank mines, and he's captain tier, which means he has no M20 mines. So he could easily just dive that Stewart with his Puma and probably win. He does need to be careful of the captain's bazookas and, of course, anti-tank rifle grenades, but given the Puma's long sight range and acceleration, it's quite easy to stay out of infantry range and try and poke the Stewart from the Puma's maximum effective firing range. We do have the captain closing in on the Puma. Pathfinder's taking shots at grenadiers from the north, and they're actually getting some sniper crits. Saw one model drop from like unusually high health, which means that Pathfinders have a chance to like get a lucky crit with their sniper rifles and just kill a model. It's like some like X% chance if below Y% health or something. I don't know exactly how it works, but rifle grenade going out. Oh, jeez. That hurt. Wow. That was a devastating rifle grenade as he was trying to vault. Pathfinder's getting pushed away by those LMG grins. Puma moving up here towards the center. Stewart's gotten some repairs. We now have a Jackson hitting the field, so he does have a major. Still no paratroopers and still no upgrades purchased. Vipuks has 650 munitions stored up. I think his only munitions expenditure this game has been shell shock on his Stewart. I don't think he's used any other munitions. If that Faust connects, which it did, I think that Puma might go in hard. Where's the captain? Captain's way over here, so is the Jackson, I don't know. Puma does locate the Stewart, but the Stewart, oh, he's popping shell shock, but he missed! Oh, he missed both shell shock shots! Ooh, Jackson shot connects from maximum range, but he's not going to chase. That is a very lucky Puma. If either of those shell shock shots had hit, Puma would be dead for sure. Volley fire just got used over here, forcing away these grenadiers. Nice use of volley fire to counter harass. And what is that? Major artillery?
We are losing a sector.
Yes, that was major artillery. And major artillery used to like one-shot garrisons. It looks like now it can't even really do that. Fortunately, it just barely managed to finish off that building. Vet 3 Pathfinders sniping, continuing to snipe models over here. Oh, the Jackson finds the Puma! Oh, it misses its shot. Nice try by Vipuks, and that's actually a second Puma, so there's two Pumas here getting repairs.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Jackson laying in ambush behind these buildings.
We've done it.
So yeah, you can see that squads will stand much closer to cover objects now, and therefore they sort of clump up, making them really vulnerable to grenades. Possibly too vulnerable. Might be something for the devs to tweak. Maybe let yellow cover provide some protection against like AoE damage. The Stewart only has 2 kills. 3 kills. Rifleman grabbing the point here in the south. Meanwhile, the center one is falling back into Vipuks' hands, but Jesulin's moving up. He's now got a Vet 2 on this mortar. It's got 12 kills, so it's not doing bad at all. Pathfinders have 11 and 10, so 21 kills roughly between them. Not doing bad. But I think they're gonna have trouble keeping up with these grenadiers.
Grenadiers reporting.
Snipe.
Enemy contact. The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Both Pumas still alive. The Jackson having a little trouble finishing them off. It's going to come down to the Stewart Jackson combo of hitting shell shock on one of them and then finishing it off with the Jackson. Jesulin's going to have to make careful use of his pack to make sure that he has the upper hand in such an engagement. Grenadiers forcing away some riflemen in the south, sending them in pairs to be sure to actually win these harassment attempts, harassment engagements. More grenadiers being sent up this flank as well. The brunt of Jesulin's forces here in the center, or the bulk, not the brunt. Doesn't make any sense. Pathfinders firing on these grenadiers, but not doing any damage. Meanwhile, they're in red cover and taking mortar fire. Jackson's getting a nice chunk of veterancy from those stray shots just landing on those Pumas, though. More American infantry headed for the center, but these grenadiers are going to prove really difficult to get past with all their veterancy and cover and everything. Stuart circling around towards the south and forces a retreat from one of these
The enemy is taking our territory.
squads. Puma actually circles down to scare the Stuart off, but the captain's moving up to support.
Enemies firing on us! Taking fire!
Panzer IV command tank hitting the field. He's gonna have to be really careful with that because it dies quite quickly to Jackson's.
Keep the pressure up! No! Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Grenadiers here in the north getting forced away by the Pathfinders. These riflemen are taking heavy damage from that P4. Ooh. He's gonna try and finish capping the point, but it's just not gonna happen with this giant blob of grenadiers moving up. He is forced to retreat. Jackson is in range to fire on the P4, but he doesn't quite have vision. Stuart also firing on the grenadiers down here. He gets Fausted. Puma gonna try and close in for the kill. Oh, the Jackson wasted its shot, or missed its shot. The Puma's not quite able to finish off the Stuart. Ooh, Jackson curves the shell around the house. Using secret alien technology. Gravity well. From Homeworld. Jackson continuing to search for targets to vet up on, basically. It hasn't really secured any kills, but it's gotten a lot of veterancy. It's going to be vet 2 soon, in fact. If it lands like 2 more shots. Yep, probably just 1 more shot. I don't think there's a single vehicle on the field that can deflect a Jackson shot currently. Maybe the P4 can at like max range. I doubt it. He's just not quite getting out of range, and finally Vipuks has the command points for the P47, and he calls it in on the command tank. The Puma pops smoke, but apparently that doesn't work. Oh geez, Puma goes down, and the P4 command tank would have died, but it got a lucky main gun destroyed crit. The other one has a destroyed engine. The Jackson is pulled back for repairs. Fortunately, that pack is keeping the Jackson at bay. I don't know why Jesulin didn't get out of the P47 strike zone with that Puma when he had the chance. He just sat there. So much for both of his Pumas. This command tank getting repaired way down here in the south. If that Jackson were to find it while it was getting repaired, it would basically be GG right there.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And even after that P47, Vipuks still has 560 munitions. He's going to be able to call in P47s pretty much for the rest of the game, by the look of things.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
I guess you can see this game progress bar thing now that the UI has changed, so I'm going to have to like move my thingy over here to be over top of this thing instead now, which is better because you'll be able to see. You'll be able to properly see the screen. I'll be all cluttered and everything, so that's good. Vipuks taking control of the right side fuel. Riflemen grabbing the center victory point. We also have rear echelons harassing here in the south, and Jesulin still has actually a very much superior infantry army. But Vipuks is kind of winning in the light armor. War. Pathfinder's forced away. Scott taking some shots. Stewart's actually up to Vet 2 with 12 kills now, so it's actually come into its own a little bit. Had kind of a slow start. A great entrance, but then a slow start, and now it's kind of getting a couple snipes on these Vet Grenadiers here and there. Scott's moving up to take shots. Yeah, definitely the Stewart's actually getting like more lucky hits than the Scots are. There the Scots go. New Puma being called in, Panzer IV command tank firing. The Stewart actually manages to bounce a shot, vision block damage. Jackson is also moving up over there. Looks like it's going to circle around from the south, and a P-47 is also getting called in. The Stewart has a destroyed engine, but it will somehow survive this. P-47 strike coming in from the south. A couple of those rockets connect, dealing pretty respectable damage. Of course, the Jackson can't really chase with his pack set up here.
The enemy is firing on our HQ. The enemy is
The
taking
P-47,
our
once it has
territory.
acquired a target, will fire on that target even if it leaves the strike zone, but it will never acquire a target outside the strike zone, so Jesulin's vehicles here in the south should be fine. I think he might have been a little overzealous driving all the way down there. I mean, you really just have to leave the circle. That's... I guess he's just being extra careful. Stewart continuing to counter harass up here, now has 16 kills. He's going to continue sniping. No direct hits there. Oh, wow, Scott just wiped a Grenadier squad. Because of the craters causing squads to clump up a little bit, I guess that can happen. You have to sort of go out of his way to spread himself out at this point. Any one of those Scott shells could like wipe the squad. I think that was major artillery. I don't know, it's not on cooldown, maybe not. Not sure what happened there. Scott's tearing that Grenadier squad apart. Pathfinders moving up, and this is actually a fresh squad of Pathfinders. Apparently he likes having 2 Pathfinder squads, so he replaced one of his dead Pathfinder squads. They're certainly quite effective at clearing out the mortar and pack. They don't really seem to be able to hold their own against Grenadiers though. Wow, Jesulin going in hard here from behind. Not sure what he was trying to accomplish there though. Couldn't find any juicy targets and he had to pull back.
Infantry eliminated. Yeah, we deserve the promotion.
These Scots are just destroying everything though. 6 and 7 kills between them already. They're a little bit too close to that pack though. They really need to pull back. Oh, Jackson snipes the Puma at maximum range as it pulls out onto the road. That was a bit of a tactical misstep there. P-47 getting called in again. Nice spread of damage from those rockets on the P-4 command tank, and it's once again going to be forced back for repairs, and Jesulin keeps on spamming Pumas. But they're not very effective against Jackson. It's just does too much damage in one shot, basically. Basically, he would have to be outproducing his opponent to be able to compete, and unfortunately, that's just not happening. The map control situation is not really allowing for that. And Vipuks just doing great at counter harassment in the north here with the Stewart. Pretty much shutting down any attempt to retake that territory. Meanwhile, here in the south, some Pioneers and Grenadiers are grabbing some territory. Oh. Apparently he entered the strike zone. I missed it. But it doesn't look like any of the rockets really connected with their target.
You need indirect fire?
Pathfinder's grabbing the center point. Repairs going up on the Stewart and Jackson and Scott. 9 kills on that Scott, 8 kills on this one. Vet 2 on the Jackson. It will be very soon Vet 3. It's going to be a monstrous killing machine. Scots continue to just wreak havoc on those Grenadiers. Oh, jeez, brutal. Every shot from those Scots just has the potential to be devastating. Looks like Vipuks has finally researched bars. Seems like it's a little bit late though, not really having quite the effect on those vetted Grenadiers that he probably could have much earlier. Oh geez, that Vet 3 mortar just got cleared by those Scots.
That's it. Fully reinforced. New anti-tank gun has arrived. Panzer has spotted us.
Yet another pack being fielded.
Engaged by enemy Panzer. Panzer force standing by.
Panzer IV getting repaired here in the south. Grenadier moving up.
Territory.
Oh, nice sniper crit from those Pathfinders though. Should be able to get home fine. Grenadiers harassing here in the north, pushing away some rear echelon troops. Puma hasn't really been fully repaired, but it's moving up. Gets a shot off on the Scots. Jackson is nowhere to be found, actually. The pack takes a nice shot on that Scot, and the Puma uses attack ground to finish it off in the smoke. Very nice. Jackson was kind of floundering during that engagement and couldn't move into support in time, and now they're actually Grenadiers screening, so he could get Fausted if he gets too bold. Of course, the Stewart and the Scott are going to snipe those Grenadiers down. There they go. Jackson takes a nice shot on the Puma from max range. It's going to be forced back for repairs. Just does so much damage. P4 moving up to try and take shots on the Pathfinders. Not doing that much though. Jackson firing. And P47 strike coming in. Another one coming in from the south, actually, or the east. Jackson is not able to take a shot. You can't even see the capture point lines. That's crazy. New Puma being called in. He's staying in the P47 strike zone to try and take shots on his opponent, but it's just too dangerous, and he's getting focused down. And GG being thrown. He really doesn't have, he really doesn't have, any victory points left, so he doesn't stand much of a chance. I wonder what part of this match Jesulin thought was a joke. If I had to guess, I'd say it was the Scots. The Scots were just destroying his infantry. Scots seem really powerful now because of the way infantry form up, but regardless, I thought it was a good game. I certainly enjoyed watching it. Jesulin really struggled to make great use of his Pumas because the Jackson would pretty much just one shot force them to pull out of an engagement. Vet 3 Jackson by the end of that. Jackson and Scots definitely a very good call by Vipuks here. I think he made good use of them. I'm surprised he didn't spend more of his munitions earlier on. Could have had, like, I don't know, BARs on his Pathfinders or something, but either way, I guess it's up to him. He certainly won the game. Played very well. Both players played very well. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can always send me a replay of your own. I'm happy to do a cast for you. Otherwise, thanks for watching.